Welcome to the JFK Assassination. Do the Math Part 8c. First, let's do the warning. Do not attempt to use a gun with live ammunition on your own. You must not attempt to reproduce what you see here without having an expert in firearms with you at all times. Be aware that you can kill or severely wound yourself or others for up to a mile away, possibly farther. Finally, the demonstration from my theory that the fatal headshot came from this part of the roof of the Dal-Tex building. Let's begin. As you can see, the head did spin from right to left, similar to that in the Zapruder film. It did not spin as fast or as violently as one sees in the Zapruder film, but this is because of my construction of the head and neck. Wood is mounted on top of wood and connected together by a nail. The wood is also very heavy. All of this together produces too much drag to allow a spin as fast and as violent as seen in the Zapruder film. But it did produce a spin in the correct direction. The wounds produced are almost an exact match to the original, but there is something extraordinary about the exit wound, and it helps explain something that has bothered me for a long time. This is not the normal result of a bullet wound. Typically, the exit wound, while several times larger than an entrance wound, should be as round as both the exit wounds were in the first two demonstrations. There should not have been a large flap of skin, but just a large ragged hole. The exit wound to the blockhead produced by the shot from the Dal-Tex building shows why this wound, both in this demonstration and in real life, was different. Because of the angle at which the bullet was fired, combined with the angle of the head, the bullet dragged along the skull, causing a severe gash in the skull. One could easily see this in the wooden head. As the bullet exited, this path caused a tunneling effect along the outside of the skull. This explains the massive damage to the upper right quadrant of the skull, as well as the creation of the large skin flap seen in the film. The reason there is tunneling in the wooden replica of the head and a shattering of the skull is that the wood in the replica is over a half-inch thick of large grain wood, which absorbs a lot of the energy. The real skull was much thinner, and the bone it is made from acts more like ceramic, so it's easily shattered. Only this firing angle and the angle the head was turned at could produce this result. The wounds alone are proof positive of where the bullet was fired from. And this leads me back to the head spin. In order for the head to spin as a result of being hit by a bullet, the bullet must travel through perpendicular planes. In other words, it must enter through one plane and exit a plane that is at a 90-degree angle to the entrance plane. Because of the orientation of the President's head at the moment the bullet struck, the only mathematically possible place from which a bullet could have been fired to cause the head spin is this place, which is behind and to the left of the President. And that is where the math in Part 1 predicted the bullet had been fired from 9 degrees behind and to the left at a 14-degree downward angle from the roof of the Dal-Tex building. Let me make this perfectly clear. This does not mean that it is the most likely place. This does not mean that any other place was just less likely. It means that it is an absolute mathematical fact that the fatal headshot had to come from this point, and there is no other place that is mathematically possible from which the shot could have come from. Thanks for watching.